Hi everyone, it's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer. Today we're talking about rest. Now, I know we've all been told, get a good night's sleep and you'll be great for the day. But we've got to learn how to honor all of our bodies, the spiritual, the mental, emotional, and the physical body. We've grown up with the belief that if we just are good to the physical body, the rest of the stuff will kind of follow along as it should. But we really need to be more in tune with and in touch with our spiritual body. We have to remember that what we learned, at least growing up here in the West, what we learned growing up is not accurate. We were told, study hard and study before a test and kind of wear yourself out trying to acquire information and then just go in there and expect yourself to perform. I really want you to understand how detrimental it is to try to push and force yourself to do anything. If we work in harmony with all of the bodies, understanding that everything begins first in the energetic, on the spiritual plane. So when you attend to your spiritual body first, when you make sure that you're in alignment with that which you want, and you quickly let go of the negativity that is trying to cloud out your vision, you're going to be able to manifest so much more quickly. But you also have to get rid of time. Time is a physical concept that doesn't exist on the energetic. And as difficult as that is to understand, we've got to let it go. We can't dictate when it's going to come. Just step into faith and be relaxed and know that it's going to be taken care of. But understand that as long as you are tense and fearful or complaining and ungrateful, there's no way any good product can get to you, or the stuff that gets to you will be so teeny tiny. Now, I'm just going to give you a brief example. I was out at grocery shopping I shop at all the local grocers and the local vegetable market. And so I was driving from one place to another and had a conversation with one of my friends who was saying, I'm just really at my wit's end. I've been trying for so long to accomplish this one particular thing. And I heard the angel say to me, what is it with all of you and time? And then they went on and said, don't you remember that you all used to be an agrarian society? That you used to plant your seed and absolutely no one was upset when they went out the next day and found that the crops were not ready to harvest. We must get back to that understanding that when we are placing anything in the energetic, we are sowing our seed, we are planting a desire for what we want to come into fruition. And then the way we care for that is to think how grateful that we will be and are now. How grateful we are that we have this opportunity. How grateful that we are that all of these wonderful things have already come forward in our lives. And how grateful we will be when this additional thing comes into our lives. Practice gratitude and get used to being okay with it not being instantaneous. Think of yourself as a farmer every time you state a new desire. The farmer never gets upset if after a week, they're not able to harvest the crop. If you begin looking at it that way, as if everything has got a growing season to it, you can take away some of the angst that you may be engaging in when you begin wanting to manifest. So now let's look at this within the framework of rest, because it's something that as a society we generally don't do very well. So let's take a look, go over to our guides and see what they're talking about. What does it mean? They gave us the idea of how to benefit every area of your life with intelligent rest. So again, this is not just close your eyes at the end of the day and, hope your body can renew and restore itself and get up and get ready to grind out another day. That's not intelligent rest. That's not honoring the physical body. That's not helping all of the bodies line up and be the most effective use of your energy. So let's see how we do it. And they begin. Dear ones, you have not yet learned to accept and appreciate the value of rest. So many of you are still pushing, trying to attain elusive goals that have little merit. Now, this does not mean that if you have big ambitions about a product that you want to develop and you feel that it would be beneficial for the world, or it just would bring joy to the world, or for whatever reason you want to get it out into the world, it is not wrong to have big ambition. You are setting yourself up for failure if you insist that it has to be done in a certain amount of time, and that you are not important unless this creation of yours is met with approval by many people. You may need to go through many transitional phases with whatever it is that you're seeing or wanting to create to share with the world. That's okay. Be open to the creation and the creative process, which often requires quite a lot of versions. I read a post about Dyson, the gentleman that created the vacuum cleaner. I don't remember now exactly. I'm not going to get this correct. But I think it took him 15 or 20 years to get the first vacuum that actually made it into the stores. He had gone through all of his savings. His wife had to go back to work. And he made 30,000 prototypes? I don't remember. I should have checked that, but that just popped in my head. If you're not willing to go all the way, there's a chance that it won't work. What you learn on the journey is everything. So don't rush this part of the process. Rest your way through it. So they explained that we're pushing. We return home to our homes as lions to the lair after long days of futile action, and we begin to cope. The hunt has been unsuccessful. The cupboard, your spiritual center, is bare, and all that you have is a burning desire that you can't satisfy or find a way to achieve. Allow what you learn each day to be a micro goal that you can add into your cup until it's overflowing. Be thrilled with an experience each day. Instead of pushing ever harder, trying to find breakthroughs, answers, and ways to give yourself hope and reasons to continue, you don't have to keep pushing. If you're allowing yourself to have a little mini goals that you can meet daily on the way. We must remind you that pushing is force, and force is not the way of flow, the way of the divine. So when you push harder, your frustration grows, as your effectiveness lessens. We want you to consider a new way, a balanced way, a way of greater power. So just hear what they said. When you balance, you're not becoming less, you're becoming more. You have more access to power when you balance than when you are pushing too hard in any one direction. All of you are comfortable with the teaching that everything comes to you at the perfect time, but few of you spend your waiting time as preparing time. Wow! What if we turned our entire worlds around? So instead of saying, well, we just have to wait, which feels very frustrating, and most of the people that I work with and talk with don't like the waiting period. What if it became preparing time so that when the goal was given to you, when you got this wonderful new idea, you recognize that you would have to prepare for it, that you would have to get ready. And so therefore, this time that you've previously been calling waiting now becomes your time when you are preparing so that you are completely ready when the manifestation arrives. Instead of preparing, most of you spend your waiting time complaining about the wait, engaging in frivolous, non-productive activities, and then wondering why the perfect time never seems to arrive. It's not that you're undesirous. It's not that you're incapable. It's not that you're unworthy. It's that you're unprepared. Jesus told you that you're not to put new wine into old wineskins because they would split apart and your precious product would be spilled upon the ground. So let's apply this to the modern world. You cannot place new information into a mind that is polluted with limiting beliefs and small self-thinking. If you try to cram new information on top of information that says you can't do that, right? Let's get more specific. Let's get an example. Let's say up until a certain period of time, I don't know the year, they said it would be physically impossible for the human body to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. They were convinced. They said it would destroy the body. Nobody was capable of running a mile in less than 4 minutes. 4 minutes was the absolute tops if you wanted your body not to be destroyed, pulled apart, just unable to function. Well, sure enough, someone came along that said, I refuse to hold the belief that that's impossible. Because up until that point, everyone else prior to this particular person said, oh, science told me I can't run any faster. And so they didn't. It would have caused them such distress because the belief was so strong that they were not going to be able to run faster that they made themselves incapable. Then someone came along who had cleared out that part of their mind or who had not heard that belief, and they proved it wrong. And after that, everybody else was able to do it too. So they didn't take their worn-out belief and try to just stuff something on top of it. They completely eradicated that belief. They said, that can't be true. I'm going to prove that. I'm going to go in with my fresh new information. I'm going to make this happen. So, if you have limiting beliefs that tell you you can't do something, you must get rid of those before you will be able to achieve the thing that you desire if it is bigger than your belief is allowing you to believe for at this moment. If you're wondering why your manifestations are not working, find out. Look at your self-talk. What are you saying to yourself? Are you shooting yourself in the foot by every time you dream big, you're telling yourself, but that's just impossible? Do you have information stored in your heart that you are using to keep yourself small? Have you held on to false beliefs? Get in there and do the heart work. Clear out those beliefs, that trauma and that pain. Change the way you're thinking about situations. You've got to do a complete makeover if you're going to move yourself forward. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself spinning in about the same circles. Maybe you'll make a little bit of a breakthrough, but the minute you come up against those barriers, it's going to shut you down. Now, I specialize in trauma work and helping you recover from traumatic situations, and I offer a complimentary consultation. So if you feel that you're running up against a brick wall because of past trauma or just because of limiting belief, go on my website, Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer. On the contact page, there is a sign-up form for your free consultation. If you want help, reach out. It's available to you. You can find out whether it's worth it for you to work with me. So, you're not stuck. Help is available. You've got to make the decision that you want to take the step. If you are to get benefit from what you're learning, you must apply that knowledge to a blank canvas. If the page upon which you wish to write is filled with illegible scribble, just filled from top to bottom, adding more writing would not give meaning to that which was illegible. If that which cannot be understood is talking about all that is wrong, all that you fear, and all of the reasons why you cannot become more, and you're continuing to rehearse this dialogue, even though you don't understand it, now you'll be able to see why pushing will not bring you the results that you were hoping for. You don't always know what's going on under the surface. That's why heart work is so important. Heart work helps you get in touch with the subconscious mind and find out what you've been practicing. This is precisely why so many of you try to dull the pain of your supposed failure with drugs, alcohol, sex, food, and other mindless activities that you mistakenly believe will provide you rest or a respite from the pushing you feel compelled to do. So you keep pushing because you think that's the only way you're going to get ahead. But your subconscious mind is telling you, no way and no how am I going to let you move forward. You have this limiting program running, and I am determined that you should not be able to enjoy this or achieve this. That's when you need heart work. Instead of pushing and forcing yourselves into situations and with people with whom you're not meant to be, it's time for you to enter the state of intelligent rest. When you are in the place of this rest, you will honor the physical body's need to regenerate. You will honor the spiritual body's need to prepare, and you will deepen your connection with the divine. Notice that this is not just completely turn off everything and hope for the best. This is intelligent. This is prepared. This is make the odds go in your favor. that you will achieve this thing that you desire because you go in prepared on every level. You're not telling yourself you're a failure as you go in to be a success. You're not sabotaging yourself by not getting good nutrition or good sleep or good hydration before you go in to do whatever it is that you're doing. You're actually coming in prepared. You've connected with the divine. You know where your strength of source is coming from. When you're engaged in constant distractions that you claim are restful, you're really just trying to stave off the feeling of failure that you receive when you engage in futile forcing. Jesus advised you to rest in God, to lay your cares upon His altar so that you could indeed engage in peaceful rest. And we most ardently wish to encourage you to lay those burdens, those cares, worries, and concerns at His feet. Holding on to that which has become heavy, believing that it will become lighter if you carry it further, is simply a way to keep yourself small. It's not going to get lighter because you decided you needed to be attached to this burden or this thing or this whatever. That is old school thinking, silly thinking. Work regularly. You can't just pretend or hope and put no effort in. You do have to put the effort in. Work regularly. Place your energy, your focus, and your attention onto becoming the greatest product you can be. Become devoted to bringing forth the greatest offering, the greatest gift of which you are capable. But just as regularly, you must build in periods of intelligent rest or completion. During these resting periods, be sure to consume nutritious food. The body cannot rest properly if it's unnourished or dehydrated. Anyone who tells you that you can eat a diet of unhealthy food or food that is filled with fillers and additives that your body cannot process and you'll be fine is not telling the truth. You really need to honor the physical body. Perhaps you will be able to operate longer than some people who are more sensitive. But think about where you could be if you were actually committed to honoring the body and giving it what it needs to function optimally. So, be certain to spend time in eating the right foods and honoring the body's need for good nutrition. Also spend time in quiet, either complete silence or with soothing music. During your rest periods, spend at least 5 minutes practicing the art of opening to and then communing with the divine. During these rest periods, you would also do well to give in to whatever tension you feel in your body. Don't fight. Stop fighting, forcing, and pushing. Tension is an indication of force, a place where you're holding on to or forcing something. Spend time during your rest periods tracing the tension to its point of origin and then releasing it by granting permission for all tension to leave your body. I'm going to share with you a technique that will help you to release tension. It's a 3-part technique, and then they're guiding me to also show you how to comb out your energy. So we're going to do that in just a few minutes. Your attention signifies permission. Therefore, it's important that you give your attention to all that you do want. We really need to hear this again. Your attention signifies permission. If you don't want it, don't pay attention to it. But so many times I hear from all of us, that means including me, that I can't seem to move my mind away from that which is unwanted. Oh, look at this thing, it's bothering me. Well, that's signifying permission. If I want to release the thing that's bothering me, I've got to find something else to focus on. It's really very simple, but it does take discipline. You've got to learn how to control your mind, your body, your emotion. Let's stop pretending that we're children that don't know better. We do know. When you give your attention to the release of tension, you must go to the point of origin and state your desire for it to release. So let's stop the games of, I don't know how, they just told you. Go to the point of the tension, the point of origin, the starting point, and state your desire for it to release. Be the powerful creator you are and use your power to create good things in your life. Don't be shy about stating the result you desire, and don't be lazy about creating intelligent rest periods throughout your day. A 5-minute rest break when your energy is flagging, 5 minutes during which you can connect with the divine and renew your energy supply, will ensure that you will continue forward with better focus and more substantial energy. 5 minutes! Everybody has 5 minutes in their day that they can devote to something other than complaining. But very few of us choose to use those 5 minutes effectively. During these intelligent rest breaks, you will do best to surrender, to let go of whatever project or problem you're working on at the moment. So let's say I have decided that I'm going to teach a new class, and I'm really getting stuck on the way that I want to present a certain concept. It's really important when I'm teaching classes that I feel that I've presented it so clearly and so simply that everyone will be able to use the concept throughout their lives, and even a child would be able to understand it. So I really spend a lot of time making sure that I have explained something thoroughly and helped you to understand how to use it so that it becomes a very useful and viable tool in your life. Not complicated, not a ritual that has 1,000 steps, but just something that you can easily get your mind around, remember, and apply in your life. So sometimes that means that I am working on it for several days because I just am having difficulty explaining it or making it simple enough. This would be a time when I would need to take an intelligent rest break and just let go of pushing. Just, let me let go, let me give in to my divine center. Let me find the place within me, connecting through the heart, where all of the answers are stored. But I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to go rest in that beautiful place, knowing that as I relax, the answers will flow to me. I don't have to go chasing them. Sure, I might have to build a couple of prototypes of this concept that I want to teach, of this spiritual technique. But with each new nuance that I add to it, it will become more effective. It will become more powerful. So we should not be upset that we have to keep going back and perfecting and perfecting and perfecting. We need to understand that we're gaining as we are willing to modify what we're doing. We all know that saying, practice makes perfect. So instead of forcing it, intelligent rest breaks where you just relax into the arms of the divine Just let it go. And then when you're refreshed and renewed, you come back and look at it again. So during these intelligent rest breaks, you want to use the breath to help you let go, to fall all the way into the arms of the divine, that safe and loving space where you're protected, renewed, and restored. Contrary to your thinking, better results do not come from the constant application of force. Every time I write something that I want to really be impactful, I write it, often many versions of it, and after I feel that I have a version that I'm satisfied with, I need to put it away. I cannot continue forcing it. I must put it away and allow a period of time to go by and then look at it again so that I can see it fresh. A lot of action will not necessarily get you to your goal faster. If I don't put away whatever it is that I wrote and come back, usually the next day, and look at it with fresh eyes, I will not be able to see if it really makes sense, if it really flows, if it really says what I want it to say. In our goal-oriented society, in which the pain of failure is met with self-medicating substances, we want you to win and to turn the odds in your favor. What a beautiful thing. They want us to win. They want it to be easy. And they are giving us the tools to make it possible. You will win more consistently and reach your goals more quickly when you commit to periods of intelligent rest. So as always, they tell us what to do and how to do it. They leave no stone unturned. But it's up to you to practice. It's not going to come right away unless you've already put some effort into this. In the beginning, you may need a teacher or a guide. I did. And I am available to be your guide and teacher if it feels right to you. But understand going in that it's not going to come immediately unless you've already practiced in advance. If you know nothing about the spiritual world and you dive in, you're going to have a learning curve. There are going to be periods of time that feel frustrating. That's the way we learn everything. Don't force. Don't allow that frustration to get to a point where it wants to make you quit. Instead, enter into a period of intelligent rest when you surrender. Rest is not something to be done as a last resort after you've exhausted all of your energy stores. I don't want you to wait until you can fall into bed and then hope that the amount of sleep that you can get is enough. Rest is to be entered into on a planned schedule and should be something to be anticipated with great glee. Do you remember when we used to have snack in elementary school? We all knew what time snack time was. I knew as a teacher when snack would be, and we all looked forward to it. It was a time to renew and restore our energy. Intelligent rest is a period during which you shut down so you can recalibrate the finely tuned instrument in which part of you resides. Intelligent rest may appear to be a time in which you do nothing, but in essence, you are doing everything because you're preparing the way for your greatness to shine through as you surrender the small self with its limiting beliefs to the divine presence within. You did not come here to be small, to be weak, to be ineffectual. You may have become programmed to believe that was true, because of your childhood years, but you're not a child anymore. You no longer have to hold on to those beliefs. So now it's important that you say to the small self, thank you for your service. I no longer need you anymore. I'm opening to my fullness. I am stepping into my authentic self, and I am welcoming all that I am. And reinforce your greatness with periods of intelligent rest, because none of us can continue at top speed and do well and not make mistakes. Intelligent rest is the quickest way to bring forth your desires. If you want something, learn to enter into the place of rest so that you can receive it. Even if it feels like it's contrary to everything you know, try this. Try periods of intelligent rest throughout your day. Just practice better breathing. I've taught you on many different occasions now on these calls the use of heart breath. Use that regularly throughout your day. It doesn't just have to signify the beginning of your meditation time. Breathing in through the nose, allow the breath to go right to that midbrain area, that psychic center. And then as you begin letting go of the breath, allow it to go down the rainbow chute of the chakras so that you are exhaling from the back of the heart forward, and it will feel as though you are releasing resistance. Heart breath has now become such a giant part of my life that the minute I enter into that breathing, my body immediately knows to relax. And oftentimes, when I have gathered some tension in my shoulders and don't realize it because we do spend so much time at our computers, I'll be prompted to take several deep heart breaths just to begin moving my shoulders around and doing some of that heart breathing. And that may take about 5 minutes, but I feel so renewed and restored, especially if I'm making a lot of mistakes in my typing that I know, I've forgotten the rest break. I've been pushing it this too long. Let me just take a few minutes back away from this and restore my energy and my vitality. So the breathing is one way that we can restore and help ourselves. But let's look at all of the things they shared with us, and then I'm going to teach you a technique that I learned originally that I've modified, but learned the basics of it from a teacher by the name of Rebecca Marina Messenger. And it is a way to let go of pain in the body. And as I said, I've modified it from her original version, and I expect that you will do the same. But I'm going to give you the way that it works best for me, and I expect you to put it into the form that works best for you. Just remember that little conversation with the angels. May we remind you that you used to be an agrarian society. Once you planted your seed, none of you went into a panic the next day when your crop was not yet mature. You must learn to rest and to enjoy the wait, certain that everything will unfold at the perfect time. Just allow that to be in the back of your mind. It's a sweet little reminder from the angels. Everything comes at the perfect time, and it is safe to wait as long as you are not engaging in self-sabotage. So how do you know if you're self-sabotaging? Well, if your thoughts are things like, waiting's not any fun. Are we there yet? Or, why isn't it working? What's wrong? those kinds of thoughts are self-sabotaging. You're not engaging in the let me be grateful energy, or I am giving power to the thing that I am desiring, the manifestation that I am creating. All of those are taking power away and will occur most definitely more often when we either allow ourselves to become overexhausted or we've pushed beyond our ability because we think that's the only way that we're going to reach our goal. Pushing and straining doesn't promote growth. It actually causes you to retract. And just think about what happens in your body when you're overexhausted and you try to do it anyway. I guarantee you're never going to remember a time when it went smoothly because you tried to push it forward. Think of yourself as an overstretched rubber band. You're either going to snap or you release your hold. But it's not going to be possible to maintain that amount of pressure for a long period of time without causing major damage. Intelligent rest dictates that you plan for respite periods, so you don't wait. It's a planned exercise. You don't wait until you can't go on. When I said that I sometimes recognize that I've been at the computer too long, that is not good planning. I should have been up and stretching and releasing those muscles long before the tension was brought to mind. So that's something that I'm going to need to be incorporating. Get up, get walking, and get stretching along with that breathing so that the body is not forced to be over pressured in any way. And then I won't have to spend such long periods because I will be doing a better job of getting the information out correctly. Less typos, less confusing words, just smoother. So when you rest regularly, you plan for advance, and you can actually plan different periods. So you could have a meditation break, you could have a breathing break, you could have a stretching break, you could have a just plain relaxation break where you just turn off your mind completely. And then you could have a visualization break where you spend some time visualizing something that you want to come forward. And Course in Miracles always says, take 5 minutes every hour on the hour. Start building in these rest breaks along with your Course of Miracles break where you're repeating something that they are teaching you. Extend that to, or expand that, not is probably better, expand that to include breathing as you're doing the practice, or meditation, or stretching, so that you're really addressing all of you. And then when you come back to yourself after your break, you will feel renewed and restored, and your focus will be so much clearer, and you'll be just that much more effective. Remember, we must come as clean slates or absorbable vessels if we're going to learn. That table of knowledge is wide open. It says, come and eat, partake of me. But let's stop wasting our time by coming filled up with junk food, sitting down to a beautiful, fabulous, homegrown meal. Homegrown, home-cooked, after we just ate a whole bunch of junky food. No, let's be clean, wash ourselves free of those limiting beliefs, and then sit down at the table and say, oh, what can I learn today that will benefit me and restore me and provide me with the information that I need? Our waiting time should be preparing time, time spent releasing worn-out beliefs. When we were little, most of us were taught that Santa Claus was a man that came around with presents and came down the chimney and put them under the tree. Now, most of us outgrew that belief, without much difficulty. But we can still hang on to the idea that we can love each other and give each other gifts and be good to each other. And any day and every day can be a time of sharing, of a Santa Claus moment when we're kind and loving to another person. We don't have to retain the false belief and then, or throw the entire thing out. We can take the part of it that's good, the idea that we can give to each other, the Santa Claus idea of giving to each other, without needing to hold on to the fact that he happens to be a man with a white beard and a red suit that comes down the chimney only on Christmas. Hold on to what is good and what is supporting you, and be flexible in releasing all that no longer helps you. Just allow yourself to flow. Anytime you push, it's going to create friction. Friction will create heat, and the pressure from the increased heat causes mistakes or a blow-up. Think back to every time you've lost your temper. Sure, you were not feeling relaxed and calm just off a rest meditation break. Get out of the pressure cooker. And also, let's look at that statement. We're advised to rest in God. What does that mean? It means to put down the fear. Whether you have a robust relationship with God or you choose to believe that God isn't really there for you, put down the fear. Trust that you are loved and cared for. I guarantee you that if you will enter into a relationship with whatever you want to call the unconditional love energy, which is God, you will have a fuller life. But you need to get to it in your way and in your time. If you can just see the beauty all around you and recognize that there is a benevolent creator and source of unconditional love that loves you, you will do well. But if you can go even further and put down the fear, abandon the belief that you're lost and alone, and accept the belief that you are safe and loved. Stop the delusion that you can do it on your own. None of us can. And then open your heart to the divine. You're going to enter into a beautiful partnership that will serve you well. You will not be disappointed. Now, before we go to do the energetic portion of this, I want to repeat and repeat and repeat. Attention signifies permission. When you pay attention to something, oh my gosh, I've got this terrible cold. You're giving permission for the cold to rest in your body. Why can't you talk about something else? Look, it's a beautiful day. I'm so grateful that my body is so good at maintaining health most of the year. I'm really delighted by my strong body. I'm so grateful for the beautiful sunshine or whatever. Stop talking about what's wrong. You are making it bigger. You are letting it last longer. And I'm just as guilty as everyone else, but have learned to catch myself often before it's even out of my mouth, when it's just trying to form itself into a thought. I am really getting good at catching that and chopping it off right there. During that rest break, when you begin taking these, you can also work on this, work on your gratitude, have a rest period that is just gratitude and letting go of the cares and the worries. You are not going to get anywhere by forcing or asking yourself to run on empty. So fill up with good food and honor yourself with this beautiful rest. But remember that we have to take responsibility for the amount of numbing substances we've come to rely on. If you find that you are abusing a substance, it's not because you're out of control, it's because you've chosen to do so. And I know that doesn't sound nice, and it sounds condemning and judgmental. It's not, it's just factual. I've had to take responsibility. Gee, I'm letting that control my life. Do I want to give it that much power? Maybe you do, that's okay. You will take your power back when you're ready. If you're not ready, you're not ready. But at least acknowledge, gee, I'm giving a lot of power to that alcohol, to those drugs, to that mind-numbing TV show, or whatever it is. And then ask yourself, do I want to do that? Or would I feel better if I did something different? And start small. Just do, let's say you like to drink every night. You have a drink every night. Cut it in half. Don't cut out every night. Don't immediately start with something that's so difficult that you're likely to fail. That would be forcing again. Why don't you just cut it down by half or 3/4 and see how you feel? Go as quickly as you can without feeling forced, without feeling like you're being punished. Step up and honor that you've neglected to plan your day around intelligent rest. If that's the problem, if that's why you need a drink, perhaps you won't need that drink if you've built in the rest periods or that drug or that time in front of the television that could really be spent honoring yourself in a different way. There are so many ways that we like to numb ourselves that are not self-promoting. So there's nothing wrong and everything right with taking time out to rest. But what they want us to understand is that it should feel like we are honoring ourselves, not that we have to escape from something. So the drugs, the alcohol, the long periods of time doing something when there's a voice in the back of your mind that says, you know, you shouldn't be doing that. You know, you're really going to pay for that. Oh, look what you're not. If you are in that state where you're doing a behavior, engaging in something that you know is going to result in a negative problem or a negative situation down the line, that's escapist behavior and not rest. That's not intelligent rest. They want us to be in the intelligent rest zone so we don't have to escape because our lives feel so wonderful. So before we do our energetic work, start to, if you have a question about the difference between escape and intelligent rest, and let me just check to see if anyone has written in a question. And as always, it's perfectly okay just to be part of the group and just to bring your loving attention here and your desire for success for yourself and for everyone. But don't be shy. If you do have a question or I did not explain something in the way that feels good to you, raise your hand. Let's make sure that everyone leaves these master classes feeling like they're a little bit better prepared than they were. I'm learning too, along with you, so your questions help me as much as these classes are helping you. So star 2, if you have a question. Okay, so let's do a little energetic exercise. And what we're going to be doing is going to areas in the body. And because I brought up shoulders earlier, and so many of us have to spend long periods of time at our computers, either creating our work or interfacing with applications on the computer in some way, let's concentrate on the shoulders. But if your shoulders have no tension in them, don't feel obligated to do this with your shoulders. You go to the area in your body where you feel there may be some resistance or some tension. So let's just take a deep breath and close our eyes. Again, let's use the heart breath in through the nose to the midbrain psychic center, the corpus callosum, hypothalamus, allowing that energy to electrify, to become supple, the pineal gland, lighting up that area, and then taking the breath down through the chakras, exhaling from the back of the heart forward, releasing any resistance you may have, any small thinking, any part of you that says, I'm not worthy, I'll never amount to anything, I don't understand. All of this is just small thinking. It's not true, and you don't have to own it any longer. And now just taking a deep breath, allow your entire body to relax. Couple of deep breaths and allow the breath to move from the top of your head all the way down through your body into your feet. Top of the head, moving the energy down through your body, down to your feet, and allowing the energy to move out through your feet into the earth, helping you to ground with Mother Earth. And let's send gratitude to Mother Earth, healing, love, and blessings. One more deep breath in, moving the energy down from the top of your head, through the body, down to the feet and into the earth. And now I want you to place your attention on your heart center and open the heart. And now allow the light that is within the heart, that loving energy, connect with the divine, move the energy up through the chakras, up through the higher self point, and connect with the divine. Sharing your love, gratitude, and appreciation for all of the help that you receive every minute of every day. And now from the heart center, bring the energy down through the chakras, extending it through the pranic tube, deep into the heart of Mother Earth. So now you are firmly grounded and supported. All of your cells are in alignment, the spiritual, the emotional, mental, and the physical. Make sure you're setting up straight to allow clear passage of the energy. Straight, but not stiff. Just relaxed. And now I want you to place your attention. Remember, attention signifies permission. Place your attention on your shoulders. And if there's one particular area of the shoulder that's hurting at this time, or one particular area anywhere in your body, I want you to visualize a ray that's large enough to encompass the entire area and beyond. So don't just laser focus it, encompass the entire area and then go out a little bit. Just allow that ray to latch onto the area where you feel the tension. And now give that ray permission to decompose, deconstruct the energy within the circle. Just allow all of the energy that has gotten kind of balled up. You wouldn't be feeling tension if the energy wasn't stuck. So first, bringing a ray that identifies the area, that secures the area. Now within that ray, give permission for that energy to be loosened. It's like, I want to say to decompose, but it doesn't really decompose. Just loosen the fibers, just as though you have a knot in your hair, and you gently with the comb loosen the strands of the hair until the comb can slide easily through. So this ray of deconstruction is allowing the energy bundle there to loosen up. And now gently sweep up if there are any stray fragments. Just imagine that you have a little vacuum and just vacuum them up and bring in your ray of reconstruction and allow the area to be restored and to renew, to be strengthened with your focus and this energy of reconstruction. So first we contain the area. Let's call that our ray of containment. Then we have our ray of deconstruction where we loosen the tension. And then vacuum up any stray fibers, any stray energy. And then we have our ray of reconstruction where we're flooding the area with healing light and allowing the energetic field to go back into a state of perfect harmony and flow. And then if you still feel that your body needs additional support, if the energy is still a little sluggish in that area, I want you to imagine that you are holding a comb, a very wide comb, because you don't want to hurt, you just want to gently stroke the energy. So a fine-tooth comb is better if you want to be really meticulous, but we just want to be flowing. So choose a comb with the tines spread apart enough, the teeth of the comb spread enough apart so it just feels gentle. And then begin combing out the energy until you really feel that flow. And now, if that area has unwound enough, you may find that you want to take the comb and just go all over your entire body, beginning with the top of your head, bringing the energy comb down the front, the sides, and the back of your body. And you want to do this with each hand because you're going to be more effective if you switch hands. And you can hold your hand in the position of a comb, or you can open your hands and just lovingly guide the energy. So beginning with the top of the head, if you want to use both hands at once, you can. Guiding the energy down your body, all the way down to your feet and into the ground. And you may feel tingling, but definitely you will feel the reduction in tension. If you don't feel a reduction in tension, go back to the beginning and first contain the area. Bring in your ray of containment so that you've sort of isolated the area of tension. Now bring in your ray of deconstruction, the ray that allows this energy to untangle. Just gently, 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 vacuuming up any stray energy that doesn't seem to belong there anymore. And now bringing in that ray of reconstruction, which is just using the energy of unconditional love to rebuild and restore any area of your body, any of your bodies that have become weak. And remember, when we're talking about the bodies, we are talking about spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. So we work in the spiritual, but it will affect it all the way down to the physical. Yet we have to remember the physical is the most dense and the last one to respond. The energetic will respond immediately. Then you'll have to work on clearing the emotional, mental, if you haven't already done that work. And the final responder will be the physical body. But you must always begin with the spiritual, because that is where things begin. That's the origin point. Nothing begins in the physical and then gets out into the spiritual. Everything begins in the spiritual, and if it's not corrected there or changed there, it will become a physical product. So when you are manifesting, that's why it's so important to visualize it in the spiritual and give it enough energy so that it can form into a physical product and get to you. But you also must do the work to make sure that you've cleared up the mental and emotional blocks that may be preventing you from creating this product. So if you're saying to yourself on the spiritual plane, oh my gosh, I want a new job, and your mental conversation is, I know I'll never get a job, I'm so scared, I'm not good, and you have had an experience where you were fired from a job and you never did the work to clear up that trauma, you just held on to it in your heart, you are going to have to work really hard to manifest a new job in the physical, because you're going to have to overcome all of that resistance in order to get yourself the job. The easiest way is to say, yes, I'm deserving of this job. Sure, I got fired from that other job, but look at all that I've learned. Look at all that I've done to improve myself in that time. I'm really ready for that new job. I'm going to just let go of that shame. I'm going to go into the heart, let go of that shame, and renew myself. I'm ready. And then you have the ability, the likelihood, the very real possibility that that job will be yours and will be yours quickly. All right, so now that we're all relaxed and renewed, we had our little rest period. We are all ready to go back to work or to whatever you were doing prior to this call. And remember, try to build in a rest period, a mini rest period every hour, 5 minutes every hour. And if you haven't already, make sure you get on my mailing list, Marcia at Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer. Send me an email, say sign me up, or go to my website and add yourself to my mailing list there, sign up there. I've got a lot of wonderful things that are going to be coming up, and I can't wait to share with them with all of you. So until next Wednesday, I'm sending you all my love.